We are tired of being treated like human wallets. We are tired of women just using us for restaurant meals and free tickets to events when they don't have a damn bit of interest in us, but they lie to make it seem like they just might change their mind. We are sick and tired of being the victim of their stupid hypergamy and monkey branching. We are sick and tired of their half-truths, lying by omission, and being one of many options on their damn dating menu. We are just sick and tired of them. We are tired of the double standards. The women of today only want men for temporary satisfaction and to look good on social media. It's so sad for guys to actually have a hard time finding a sincere person because of women's expectations. There is a massive shortage of mentally stable, mature, morally beholden, and self-accountable women to date. The ones that are available overlook the good men as well. The modern man sees this madness and asks himself, to what end? The surge of red pill content, passport bros, and other male-focused philosophies only further emphasizes this point. We have a godless nation that champions and gives monetary incentives to the worst of us. And you think that would have no impact on relationships? I've been telling you the Titanic already hit the iceberg. Slowly but surely, everyone will start to realize the ship is going down, and the band will still be playing. Does anyone else remember a movement in the 90s into the early 2000s where it was a big deal to teach kids to be yourself and not change for anyone? I genuinely believe that's where a lot of this comes from. We stopped teaching kids how to conduct themselves within society. Most young men are single, most young women are not. On the contrary, most older women are single, and most older men are not. This means the older men are taking all the young women because they don't want the older ones, and the young men are bussing the older women down, but aren't committing to them either. See, the issue isn't that men aren't seeking a relationship. It's that we are tired of getting the same negative feedback, being used for our assets, overvaluing our hearts, and not having mutual companionship that is organic and faithfully twined. When a man acts in their natural state, being kind and gentle, being a hard worker who has a purpose, it comes off as feminine or weak, and therefore due to social media, he looks like an undesirable potential mate. The reality is, there are plenty of men who are willing to marry, not play around, not beat around the bush, and really settle and build. But most of the time, that is not what they find, and therefore resort to settling alone, as it should be, since you should never be in a relationship that is not how God designed it to be, nor does not have an attributing element to your overall happiness. It's really simple. A good man with a good heart, and a good woman with a good heart. The calculus to a faithful relationship is really that simple, but society has to become less introverted and more outgoing. While some people use this issue to make money, I still appreciate that more guys are less willing to bash it, and understand it instead. It really makes a huge difference, and you can't blame this all on social media. Physical intimacy has always been men's incentive to participate in the competitive side of society, but when that is overinflated into the marketplace, its stock goes down. Where there used to be order, there is now a free-for-all called dating, where women can roam the intimacy marketplace as they choose. Although the 80-20 rule exists, it really does not mean all 80% of men don't have access to intimacy. A good percentage of those men can have it, albeit with such low-quality women that they don't even feel the juice is worth the squeeze with the trouble they come with. The advent of a new wave of feminism has further curtailed the male hormone into obscurity by disadvantaging the gender as a whole, while simultaneously increasing the ever-expanding hypergamy of the female. So you have a generation of men being reared and propagandized to believe that all men are toxic and bad, and that they must accommodate, if not submit to, female comfort. Disregard their own natures to become this progressive creature, all the while maintaining their traditional roles of paying first and being the consummate professional and gentleman. I remember when cell phones were coming out, people said they would make people more connected. Then I noticed people with phones ignoring the people in their midst to talk on the phone. Now it's people doing the same with scrolling social media. Before smartphones, my social life was pretty robust. To meet women, I had to approach them in person. No other way, really. Then it became almost taboo, especially when women would have earphones in and stare at their phone to avoid engaging. Now it's to the point where to reach even your closest friends, you need to go through social media, and since texting is possible, it removes the necessity of person-to-person communication. This is generally speaking. There are exceptions, but the trend is established. Unless we as a society decide to buck the trend, we will end up even having physical intimacy through the internet. Women and men will have avatars and some neural link-type technology that conveys sensation across the wires. It has become a complete mess. Therefore, a good portion of men would rather jerk off and play video games, or gym, or whatever other method they come to a conclusion to meet their needs, other than sitting at a table across from a tough judge interviewing him over an expensive brunch or dinner, jumping through hoops to get to a prize that's been opened 100 times over by everyone else. It's not worth the effort. It's a simple cost-benefit equation. The reward of obtaining these women is no longer worth the headaches associated with them. After they've been run through, then they want the guys they ignored, after the reward has been cheapened. They waste their prime years getting plumbed out by the wrong guys, have kids by them, and then go looking for a cleanup guy. And then you have the criminal types, looking to finesse men for money, under the promise of a relationship, which never really comes. It's crazy out here. Most of us weren't prepared for this reality. Our forefathers had average jobs and multiple options with beautiful, healthy women. Now the average woman making less than $50,000 a year thinks that she deserves a high-value man. So now all the average men are trying to become high-value the best way we know how. Our forefathers didn't have to have a lot of money to provide, protect, lead, love, and inspire their families. Those days are over, and most men are just trying to adjust, and as soon as men become high value, those same women become undesirable to them. On another note, could this be a form of population control and divide and conquer? Men are becoming high value like women want, but as they said, be careful what you ask for. Young men are simply being priced out. It's blowback from how poorly the economy has been run to the ground. When you reverse engineer this issue, it goes back to the greed of the government. When a one-income household was the norm and eventually went to two, the government benefited. People's eyes have been opened. Too much deceit with people where you can't always trust people's intentions. Social media is the worst thing that has happened to our society. All you mainly see and hear is negativity from people. You and many of the content creators focus on the negative things with people and our society daily. Marriage in many cases is smoke and mirrors. Many aren't happy or keeping real with their mates. It's hard to trust no matter the relationship, and that's the biggest reason many choose to keep to themselves. I believe most men are not getting involved because of the cost of living increase. It's hard enough to support yourself, let alone add another. Also, after a divorce, especially if a child is involved, alimony can be a killer of income, where up to 30 to 40% of income is withheld for support. Because we are so goddamn tired of going after women who act like 5-year-olds, women have no values anymore. Women are not loyal, and we can't trust them. Love doesn't exist anymore, and frankly, I'd rather die alone than have problems with these women who bring nothing to the table, which doesn't necessarily mean money. It means peace, comfort, and someone to comfortably live my life with. All in all, this is why men are done with society, and this is why women are ultimately encouraging men to go their own way. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.